Good morning, Venderman here with FuturesTraderElite. This is going to be your NQ pre-market prep on 11/18. We're going to get this chart pulled up here. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. Let's pop this open. We got this here set on the 2-hour right now. Let's kind of go over, look at some of this structure real quick. Yesterday we got that move. You know what? Let's switch this back to the 1 hour. Okay. So we had us a little bit of some pullback. Of course, we are looking at this, how we got this has come down to this S1 pivot. Let me change to the cursor. We're down here at this S1 pivot and we took out this low, but we haven't got down here, which we was talking about yesterday, where it bounced back here. We got major support on this line down here, and this line is, I don't know if you guys remember from yesterday, but it's around, we're going to call this from 410 to 430, I think is what we was talking about. That's what we're going to be watching here to the downside for a good bounce. If we could get there. That's still a ways away, several hundred points, but look where we are right now. I mean, we all know it can get there today real easy if it wants to do that. So something to keep in mind. That's a key level that we need to have support, or let's just say 400 to 430. We got to have support there. If we don't, things are going to look bad on the structure from there. Because if we don't hold 400, we're going to start targeting this area right over here, which is about less than 200, it looks like. And so we have to find support in here. That's actually down around 150, this area around here, so 150, 200. But then we also had this back here on this yellow line that saved it around 230. So anywhere here, the structure needs to find support. Let's blow this back up. That's just a bigger time frame thought process we're going over there. Nothing to worry about unless it actually gets that low today or this week. Then we can start discussing moves there. This is exactly why it's important to be able to go both ways, long or short. Got to be a bear and a bull in this market. That way you can capitalize and not just trade one way. So let's take some of these zones off here. These precision entry zones are from yesterday, and they probably won't work today. Some of them might, but I'll just redraw them before the market opens. And then we got this imbalance, this was a bullish imbalance zone that needs to come off. Okay, so let's adjust our trend line here a little bit down to there. So this is going to be our new 1 hour. We got all our other trend lines overhead, our red ones, although we can put another one in. Actually could put a couple in, because see, last time we touched was back here and we never come back and touched it. So we can start up here with another trend line here. And then let's change that to red. And then we'll make another line. Make sure it don't smash too down far on that candle. And then we need to make another line from up in here where we touched down to the wick right up here on this candle. I need to fix this a little bit. This ain't quite touching right. It'll be close enough. We'll change that to red. This is why it's important to go through your trend lines in the morning if there's room for extra ones on there, because now that we added those two and we see where we are here, see we touched here and we can actually still get another one on here, and we're going to go on and throw it on there so that we get a whole picture here, because each of these can be a first reaction type play. Even if it decides it finally wants to rip higher, these could be first reaction touches for short positions. And so it's something we need to be able to watch. Or what happens is, all right, we got that one. Now let's make this bigger. Say, without doing this, let's say that this turns around and starts making its way up, putting in higher lows, and then all of a sudden it gets in this area and get a hard rejection. If people aren't looking at this the way we are, they're going to be like, well, why did it reject right there? You know? And had they been putting these higher time frame trend lines on, they would be ready for a first reaction short possibility there, which is what a lot you might get. You might get a first reaction 30 points to the downside and then pierce right back through it. And which is fine, because we know that's one of the possibilities of this move. First reaction touch, 30 points short, get ready for the break to go long. It comes back and retests the top of this line. Say it pierces through it, comes back and taps it. Entry when it comes back and taps to the next line for your take profit. You know, that's how you got to look at this, because we don't normally go just straight up. I know we see moves around news and stuff where you get them big impulse candles, but typically they build structure on the way up. They go up, they pull back. They go up, they pull back. They go up, they pull back. So that's how you got to look for the market to act almost every day. That's why we can't be right every day, because some days it's not going to go up and pull back and go up and pull back. It's going to go up and sideways instead of pulling back and then up. Or it's going to go down and then sideways and down, or it might go down and pop and drop and pop and drop. You just got to be ready to build around whatever pattern they're putting in on the day with it. Or the algo might grab it and say, okay, we're going straight up 200 or 300 points with hardly any pullbacks. You just got to be able to, the more time you have behind the screen, the easier it gets to read all that. And to trade that, all these different things that it does. But from what we're looking at right here, you know, on this 1 hour, let's move to the 15. Maybe get a little bit of a different picture here. Okay, so see on the 15 here that we're not touching up here, so I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Which all that matters. Moving it just a little bit can mean the difference whether your orders get picked up or not up here around the trend line. So we're still looking like we're in a downtrend here. And then we put this in. We got this S1 pivot, but see now here on the 15 minute, we can draw a line from here, right here. I'm not going to draw it though, but we could. So to get bullish on the day, you see we got this golden pivots at almost 500, and then there's a red line right above that. We really do need to get above that, maybe for a little bit of some bullish bounce going to the upside. But there's some key stuff that we still need to break through. I mean, wow. We need to get above the golden pivot for sure. But just because we're going to be above the golden pivot don't mean that we're going to be bullish today. What it looks like to me is if we get above the golden pivot, we still got all this overhead to deal with. These trend lines, you know, these areas in the chart, like right here where we double tapped in this area. That's around 200 as well. We got a line going through that area, although we'd pierce that line to get to that area, but we got that. Not far above that, we got this and this rejection up here. We got a whole lot of resistance we're going to have to get through to actually get back to the upside, unless some news drops and they pierce this pretty hard to the upside. I'm going to be thinking that we might be in the short game today. Anything that does go up, we need to short it down. So maybe first reaction short at the pivot point. You know, if there's a lot of buyers, first reaction to the pivot short, let it go back up, retest the pivot for the bounce higher. And then if we get that, we're going to be looking at this trend line for first reaction short. Let it pierce through it, let it come back and tag it for entry, retest for entry for a bounce higher, maybe to the next line or the R1 pivot. This area up here around 360, unless we get higher than that, we need to get above 360 today to try to turn into real bulls to the upside anyway. Because once we can clear 360, we can start thinking, where's that level I was talking about? See, it's still way up there. We need to get through all of this. So first, now we got to get through 360, and then we need to get through the, man, that's a lot, 850 to 900. So it's a long ways away from where we're at. So all we're going to do is take what we can get, play, go out there and try to get that 15, 20 points, maybe even 30 today. We'll see how they act when they open the market and exactly what they want to do. But we will definitely have a plan together. More than anything, we'll put a plan together. We'll get me, before the market opens in the live updates channel, I will post the Pez boxes so that we can maybe put a plan together around that. Let me fill out this structure some more, and look at everything going on. A quick reminder: Bullinox has got they're 85% off. 50K evals, I think, puts that at $26.75 for a 50K eval. One of the things I like about Bullinox is on a 50K, your drawdown is $2,500, not $2,000, which is about the average across the industry for drawdown. So you get that extra $500, and their withdrawals like every 10 days in between payouts and all that. And then you can pass them in one day if you want to, instead of a week. Or all these places are different. And I also got some other news about Bullinox coming hopefully later on in the day. I'm waiting. Was working on something all day yesterday, so hopefully I'll have a update with something going on Bullinox here in just a little bit. I'll update that in Discord if it comes through. So everybody trade sharp, stay safe. Like, comment, and share on this to enter in the giveaway in Discord. And if this is your first time here, hit that like and subscribe. That way you're notified every time we drop something on YouTube. Come join us in the Discord, see what we got going on. Check everything out, talk to other members. And I will see you guys in the recap. Have a good day.